Chiefs had a massive win this week over the Indianapolis Colts, and it was a big statement game overall from this team being able to come through and have a big time win over an opponent in Indianapolis who was at the top of the AFC, having a monster season out of the gate. And, Jonathan Taylor was in a lot of talks as that offensive player of the year, right? Michael Pittman was having a resurgent year. Daniel Jones was having a resurgent year for Indianapolis and Kansas City. Man, they found ways to win and they refound their championship DNA in that fourth quarter, finding different ways to get a big time stop after Kareem Hunt fumbled. And then they went down offensively. They didn't panic. Andy Reid ran the ball despite being down 2 scores in the fourth quarter. They were able to chip away, find ways to get back in this game. And, they didn't even, the funny part is they didn't even go through and get that touchdown on the goal line to win the game, even though they were on the 1 yard line. But they did find a way ultimately to win. We'll talk more about it when Brady returns. But how about Jahmyr Gibbs? 64 points. Oh my God. I mean, the last 2 weeks, Jahmyr Gibbs has been an absolute superstar in fantasy football. This guy has basically made David Montgomery obsolete in Detroit, and we're kind of seeing what Jahmyr Gibbs could do with all of the added volume. He's just a one-of-one type player, right? Jahmyr Gibbs genuinely is probably one of the most talented running backs I've ever watched, maybe the most talented. What he can do with the ball in his hands, whether that is with a run, with a pass, he is just so elite, and he single-handedly carried this team to a victory today for this Lions. He had 11 catches, and he had some massive touchdown runs as well. And I really hope you weren't playing against him in fantasy, and if you had him in fantasy, it was definitely an incredibly clutch performance from Jahmyr Gibbs in this one, and it was something for sure. It felt like a game where Jameis Winston set the tone early, having a long touchdown to Wan'Dale Robinson. The Lions always felt like they were playing behind the sticks. Jameis made a receiving touchdown catch. The Giants offense was moving the ball well, and they were making it interesting. But, I mean, what Jahmyr Gibbs was able to do in that one was really special, and it ultimately allowed them, to go through and win that game. Having him and JSN in your lineup is nuts. Those two guys in your lineup probably won you your week alone just based on their combined production this week and how good JSN is. He might be the offensive player of the year. We're going to welcome back in Brady. Brady,
I had some
back
technical
out of the
difficulties
house.
there. Technical difficulties. Let's get back propped up here. All right, we're all good. I'll let you finish your thoughts. Sorry about the issues
Yeah,
there.
I was kind of spitballing a little bit in terms of kind of the Chiefs game a little bit and Jahmyr Gibbs monster day and JSN, but a little bit like my takes on that Chiefs game. Right, the biggest turning point was right Kareem Hunt fumbles. Right, that at that point, like the game is still within their hands. When Kareem Hunt fumbled, it felt like if the Colts scored on that drive or even got a few first downs, that game was over. Right, but what the Chiefs defense did is they went 3-and-out and everything from that point on changed. Through the fourth quarter in overtime, the Chiefs had 250 total yards. The Colts had 13. It
Wasn't
was
it like five straight 3-and-outs to finish the game
five
for
straight three and
Indianapolis?
outs. Their defense showed up, and you know what the biggest difference was that they finally adjusted. Because I mentioned this, you weren't here last week, but the Chiefs, in all 4 of 5 of their losses, they allowed a 3rd down and 10 conversion or longer in a one-score game when the offense could have got the ball back or a game-winning drive. This week, in those situations, the lights go out. But what the lights went on for was Spags decided I'm sending all out pressure. I'm not even going to let the quarterback have enough time to process the field instead of trusting a rough front four. And it worked really well in that matchup. So that was good. Mahomes looked like he did for over the last month, which was very bad. He wasn't getting. I agreed with Tony Romo to the point that he was getting through his reads almost too quickly, right? He doesn't have a lot of confidence, it feels like, in his offense right now. But in the fourth quarter, when they needed him the most, he finally was able to come up big enough in a moment. And it's a massive win for Andy Reid. I've been critical of Andy Reid this year. He hasn't run the ball enough. He did it an entire game, Brady. He did it down 2 scores in the fourth quarter, and it paid massive dividends for this team. And I think when they get Pacheco back, it will make them a little bit better because you can't give Kareem Hunt 30 carries a game. It's just not the best recipe for success. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is not that guy anymore, but when they get Pacheco back and they run under center like they did today, that's when this offense is really hard to stop. and
What was
they've
the
found
deal
ways
with
to win.
what was the deal with Trey Smith? What was his injury?
Ankle injury. I don't know if he'll go this week. So
Okay.
that'll be a potentially big loss. But
That's
the
I
biggest
all of a sudden I kind of never considered this game really this upcoming game very worrisome for the Chiefs, but all of a sudden like this is going to be a game on Thursday.
yeah, the Cowboys are playing better. We'll talk
The thing
about
is
them.
I don't know how many stops the Dallas defense can get, but I'm worried about how much the Dallas offense could shred this Kansas City defense.
I think that the interesting part about, that matchup with the Cowboys is the Chiefs secondary is strong. It's their pass rush that's concerning, right? If the Chiefs don't get home, that's the part where Dallas is going to be able to pick them apart. But I'll be interested to see kind of what Spags does, because every week it seems like he picks apart your best player, finds a way to slow them down, and makes other guys beat you. But with Dallas, you got George Pickens, Ferguson, you got Javonte Williams. It's a pretty loaded offense.
Is that the Norwegian flag? No, this is Drake May. This is something even better than Norwegian flag. This is Drake May. I do want to also add for the Colts, their fans are all going to be upset about it, but this is exactly the second half of this game is exactly why I cannot buy this team as a real contender at all. It's Daniel Jones, and yeah, I know that there's been a lot of cope of oh well, Daniel Jones is different. Like Shane Steichen has unlocked him. Shane Steichen and Daniel Jones is a great duo. Daniel Jones has done his job. He's done a way better job than any of us expected. But against a defense like this, in a spot like this, he's always going to perform like this. I feel like we know who he is. He started to steadily turn into a pumpkin over the last few weeks, and this is coming off of a bye as well. This is 2 weeks to prepare for the Chiefs, and it felt like Tony Romo said this too. Shane Steichen pulled out all the good stuff in the first half, and then they had nothing in the second half on offense. And a lot of that, Daniel Jones was missing open guys. Like there were plays called where guys were there. I mean, even on the last Indianapolis drive, it felt like he was trying to give the ball back to Kansas City through two near interceptions and got away with them, but lost in the end. I just can't buy this team. A team with the running back being the star player on the offense, no real quarterback threat. I don't buy them at all. And now it's a question of are they even going to end up winning the AFC South? Because keep in mind, they've got to go to Jacksonville. The first, or they've got to go, I believe they took both matchups left with Jacksonville, correct?
Yeah.
The first one is at Jacksonville. They never win in Jacksonville. They never win in Jacksonville on the road. It doesn't matter how good of a year they're having. They never do it. Maybe they do this year, but all of a sudden the AFC South is becoming a question. And it honestly might be better for Kansas City for the Jags to end up winning that division, since the Jags have the tiebreaker over Kansas City and Indianapolis. Obviously, Kansas City holds the tiebreaker over them. So all in all, I think the Chiefs saved their season. They're definitely, I'm not going to say they're back yet, but they're going to be in the playoffs, I do believe, as long as they win this game on Thursday. Lose Thursday, all of a sudden you erase all the good work you did today. But right now, at this point in the season, where the Chiefs are at, you got to take things 1 week at a time, and it definitely looks a lot better than it did the past two games.
Yeah, and I'll close this, and I think we'll talk about it a little bit more with Dan later. But the thing that the Chiefs finally got over and out of their way is they finally came up in the fourth quarter in a big moment, which is something they haven't been able to do this year, and they were able to get it done. Right, this
Oh wait,
could
I
be a
just I also
time
want to add
going
this real
forward.
quick. By the way, all these
Yeah,
Chiefs fans are so freaking spoiled, always complaining about your coaching staff and acting like they suck. Like I get it, Reed, he does a lot of the same things, but he's still great. He's gonna be great come January. But my other thing is Spags. Like I always hear this talk. I want to reach a truce actually real quick with Chiefs fans. We've always heard the BS narrative about Tom Brady always had all the top 10 defenses, all the this is the third straight year that Kansas City is going to be in the top 6 in points allowed on defense. So either we can all agree that measuring top 10 defenses just off pure points per game is a bad way to do it, or we can admit that Mahomes is also having the elite defenses. So that's up for Chiefs Kingdom to choose. But stop complaining about Spags. He's one of the best DCs ever. He bailed you guys out today, and I'm tired of the Spags slander. He's too good for that.
yeah, I have my mixed opinions about Reed this year. I think Spags has been pretty normal. I think the biggest weakness with the Chiefs, they don't rush the passer with four. That part of their defense is not great, and I think that will still come back to haunt them at times. But let's move on from this one, right? Let's talk about another big game with a ton of implications. the Cowboys and the Eagles, right? The team that the Chiefs are going up against next week, right? This is a very big win for the Cowboys who find themselves. I know the NFC is pretty loaded in its playoff picture right now, Brady, but over the last 2 weeks, they've looked really good. In Philadelphia, once again, their offense not good enough in the second half despite a really strong start. What were your thoughts on both sides of the ball in that game?
Yeah, I felt like Dallas, they got punched in the mouth early on. The Eagles, sort of similar to the Colts, felt like they were firing on offense early on and then just couldn't get answers, which is really concerning. Really concerning against that Cowboys defense that has had its more than fair share of struggles this season. I saw a stat that the Eagles, their success rate, I believe their offensive success rate on passing plays is by far the worst of the Nick Sirianni era, but also grouped in with like the 2020 Broncos and the 2021 Saints or something like that. Two really, really bad teams. Like it's one of the worst out of 100 something teams over the last 5 or 6 years, something like that. Very, very bad is what I'm getting at here. Eagles offense has been really, really bad. They got AJ Brown more involved today, but they couldn't get anything going. Saquon had the big fumble there in the
Yeah,
fourth quarter.
two big
And the
fumbles.
Eagles, honestly, their defense is bailing them out of these turnovers and the miscues of the missed kick too. But at the end, it came down. They couldn't finish. They couldn't finish the game. The defense gave the game up pretty much in the second half because the offense couldn't keep any pressure off of them. Dak and the offense just kept going, and they were able to get this win. And even though CeeDee Lamb continues to drop the ball against the Eagles, quite literally, George Pickens is playing his way towards an All-Pro spot this season. Another phenomenal game for him. 9 catches, over 120 yards, I believe it was. He's been great, which I did not expect. I thought he'd be fine. I thought he'd be a good number two, like 1,100 yard season, something like that. But he's been phenomenal. And this is something that I think is working for the Cowboys right now. It's going to sound really cliche and really like Mickey Mouse, but it's something for the Chiefs to contend with this week, but it's something for the rest of the Cowboys' opponents to contend with. The Cowboys have the factor of playing for something bigger right now, with rest in peace to Marshawn Nealon, with obviously like the toll that that takes on a program, on a facility, a guy close to you, a teammate, a guy that you're coaching passes and takes his own life. You've seen the Cowboys come out and play really inspired over the last couple of weeks following his really unfortunate passing. And I don't like to chalk things up to this because it's all about what happens between the white lines. But like, I actually think that's a real thing that can help the Cowboys make a playoff push. Is they've just got this crazy motivation right now after that tragedy.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing with that tragedy that helped them in this game is they didn't look at themselves and blame each other in this 21-point deficit that they faced in this game. It was we're making mistakes and they found a way to slowly chip away. Right? I mean, we've seen this Cowboys team in the past in these type of games unravel. It feels like twice a year we've seen Cowboys blowouts, whether that's at home or on the road. And I honestly thought this is where this one was trending. I thought, man, the Cowboys defense, they looked really good last week. Right? Maybe they're not so good, right? The Eagles offense shredded them to open the game. They had a great opening script. And then the Cowboys offense, right? Turnovers, they weren't blocking well. Nothing was working. And they found a way to go win this
But
game.
they just started throwing quick game.
Yeah. They were able to beat Philadelphia by negating their pass rush. And they used just enough of Javonte Williams to keep them a little bit off their heels to where they weren't just able to get free
Who
rushers.
also was
And that's
great
kind of what
in
you have to do
blitz
against
pickup
Philly.
too.
Yeah, like if you want to beat a Vic Fangio defense, you have to be able to have a multitude of options where the ball can go. And that's obviously having George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, Jake Ferguson, Javonte Williams. That's where the Cowboys are a scary team. And, if they can build on this defense going forward in the future, they have a bright future. Like they finally have the weapons that Dak Prescott needs as a quarterback to go win a Super Bowl with.
Well, hey,
Now it's more on
listen,
getting the pieces.
he's not Micah Parsons, but getting Quinnen Williams is also a great addition for them. At least
They have an
salvaging a little
they have
bit
an
of
identity on defense now. They're gonna stop the run,
stop the
right? Their
run. Yep.
passing defense is not by any means good, but they have an identity now. They can stop the
Well, and it's
run.
also big that again, not the impact of Micah, but it's big that Ezeraku has been really good as a rookie for them too.
Yeah, he has been a big ad. But I'll kind of talk about Philadelphia's side of things before we welcome in Dan before our next segment here. With Philadelphia, right? This offense has looked the exact same the entire year. It's no progress. And the biggest reason why they've stumbled, Saquon Barkley has not been able to get going on their ground game. This offensive line has been inconsistent in terms of health and production this year. Saquon has had very few running lanes and hasn't been as productive. And they've been relying on Kevin Patullo and Jalen Hurts to get a passing game going. That doesn't seem like the best combination in the
No,
world to get a
I
passing game
also
going.
I feel like this team, at least the offensive guys, I feel like they kind of hate each other. Like I honestly feel like this is a good
I
team.
see a trade coming this offseason.
I
I mean,
don't
it
think
just
they
seems
like
like
each other. Like just these quotes are always so crazy. Do you see AJ Brown the other day? Oh, I'm having a down year. I guess Saquon's having a down year too. Like completely throwing him under the bus, pretty much saying like, "You guys think I've sucked? Go say something to him." And then you've got all the AJ Brown drama all throughout. You got Jalen Hurts who can't throw over the middle. Smitty's like the only guy that doesn't say anything out of these cats. Like
yeah.
I don't know. I'm just excited to see Drake May throwing AJ Brown next year.
Keep dreaming. Keep dreaming. The Patriots, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. But AJ Brown saga, at least he had a good stat day. He had a good stat day. That's all that matters. And all I know that Kevin Patullo will not be the coach of the Philadelphia Eagles offense next year. I think that is clear to me. I don't know what to make of the Eagles in the playoffs. They're a great team. They won a championship last year. They have an unbelievable defense, and they're the most talented team in football
Well,
still.
they
So
can't lose again if they want home field advantage because now you're a
they're
loss
not going to get.
behind.
Yeah,
You're a loss behind the Rams. You pretty much need to win out and hope
they
that LA
have
loses another. Because what helps is that you have the head to head over LA, but you need help now.
They have Chicago next week,
They
the
got
Chargers the week
Buffalo.
after that.
And
They got the Raiders, that's a bye week. The Commanders, probably with Jaden Daniels back. Then they get the Bills, and then they get the Commanders again to close the season. That's a probably average schedule, but I mean, you'd have to think there's maybe a loss or two mixed in there. And obviously, the Rams, right, are firing on all cylinders right now. So it'll be interesting to see how the Eagles play things out. Dan, we're going to welcome you in here. What were your thoughts? Give us a game. What game do you want to talk about? We kind of already talked about Chiefs and Colts, Eagles and Cowboys. Give us a game. Tell us about it.
Um, I mean, let's hit on Ryan's favorite team in the NFL, the Jacksonville Jaguars. How about that?
Oh, we want to talk Jacksonville Jaguars. All right, let's talk about that game.
I mean, what a wild game, huh? I just welcome to the Arizona Cardinals experience. Um, that's just how it is, man. The Cardinals figure out and find ways how to lose these one-score games, and the Jaguars somehow, some way, pull it out, dude. Trevor Lawrence, three interceptions, one fumble that was returned for a touchdown. I mean, dude, I don't know. He can't play much worse, and they still won. Um, dude, it's just I don't know, man. His resiliency though, that's what impresses me. It's like he can throw a terrible interception, but on like the next drive, I forget what quarter it was, he drove down the field and he was getting blitzed and he was just making plays. And I was like, who is this guy? It's like the old saying, like if you're playing someone online, it's the controller has been passed because it's like two different people. If we think there's one quarterback in the NFL that's got two different personalities, it's got to be Trevor Lawrence because that's two different guys playing. I don't know about JJ McCarthy. It's Trevor Lawrence, man. He can look terrible one
it's
quarter.
not JJ. JJ just sucks all around.
It's more
Okay,
like a
it's
Bo
dude.
Nix.
dude, it's crazy, man. It's just Trevor Lawrence is just not consistent, but he makes plays somehow, and that's how the Jaguars keep winning. I want to get Ryan's take. I know Ryan was watching this game. I
Yeah, I
saw him
mean,
commenting
listen,
online
the
a lot.
the Cardinals had every opportunity possible to win this game, and it just they couldn't do it. And like
Dude,
they, it's, I mean, it has to be frustrating as a Cardinals fan because it feels like there's multiple games this year where they've just slipped away, and this might be an indictment of this coaching staff and Jonathan Gannon and why they might
yeah,
be on the
definitely.
outs. So I don't really feel comfortable of those guys staying into next year and maybe even making it towards the end of the year, right? This is a game where, like I said, they had a favorable matchup through the air with Jacoby Brissett. He threw for 300 yards, but it felt like this offense just didn't capitalize like they needed to. Chad Ryland missed a big field goal. That one really
Dude,
cost them at the end of the game, but um, it just felt like the Cardinals matched up well. Defensively, they forced all the turnovers they needed to. They just don't capitalize. Like they have all this momentum. They probably you could say they outplayed the Jaguars, right?
they
But
did.
they didn't come up with a win in this one. And it's the same type of stuff. You look at Michael Wilson at the end of the game, runs a great double move, Jacoby Brissett, if he throws a perfect ball on him, he scores a walk-in touchdown, underthrows it a little bit. Michael Wilson spins the ball with 30
Yeah, you
seconds
saw that.
clock running. They waste 20 seconds. They throw a pass with 10 seconds. There's 6
Pulled a
seconds.
Chase
And then they
Claypool.
got it. Yeah. And then they got to kick a field goal. They missed out on a game-winning potential drive at like the 10 to 15 yard line because Wilson wasn't coached to just
He had a
go
brain
get the guy
fart,
the
yeah.
ball. Right? That's on the coaching staff.
Arizona, like they just got to blow it all up. Like you've got some good young pieces in Marvin and Walter Nolan balled out again, but I think we all know Jonathan Gannon, dead man walking at this point. He's gone. Kyler Murray gone. Don't know where he's going to go. Some mid-level team that thinks that Kyler Murray can take them to the top, and they'll be wrong about that. But it'll be interesting to see like what the direction is for quarterback, who they're going to draft with their presumably high draft pick, and what holes they try to fill. I mean, in free agency this last year, they were aggressive. They went and got Josh Sweat, and then you drafted Will Johnson too. Like they've got some pieces, especially on the defensive side of the ball. As you saw, the defense wreaked havoc today. Like they just got to fix a few things, and they got to fix, I think, the leadership on that team to get back to where they want to be.
Yeah, and I'll say this about the Jaguars too is like the Jaguars have such an easy road to the playoffs. Do I think they're a playoff team? Probably not, but they have an easy schedule. It just feels like the Jaguars will find a way to get in the playoffs. They got the Titans twice, they got the Colts, right? They don't have a hard road, but this also feels like a team that has as low of a floor as any team in the NFL. We saw them and the Raiders a few weeks back play at a really low level, and it feels like the Jaguars are always stuck in these one-score games and find a way to come out on the right side. So with them, I do think there's a good chance they win probably 4 of their next 6 games, right? Put themselves in a really strong spot to make the playoffs.
Right now, I've got them
Maybe
winning the
5.
South. Like,
I mean, so like you look at
They're gonna
okay,
win
so
the
let's look
division.
at Jack. We talked about this
only because the Colts never win in Jacksonville ever. Like,
Oh, yeah, it's kind of like the weird thing. Yeah, I kind of.
yeah, like they for some reason, and one of my buddies at work, he is a diehard Colts fan, and he literally says every year that game we play in Jacksonville, it's a loss. And last year, I remember specifically, I was like, oh no, you guys are gonna win this. The Jaguars suck, and he's like, no, the Jaguars are gonna beat us. Sure enough, that's what happened. But it's gonna come down to it.
You want here, hold up before you go. This is both their schedules. So the Colts, I think they're 8-3, right? Don't quote me on that. I think they are 8-3 now. They have the Texans next week. We all know the Texans' defense is unbelievable. They have the Jaguars in Jacksonville after that. Then they go to Seattle. Then they face San Francisco. They have the Jaguars at home, and then they close with Houston. Jacksonville, on the other hand, they have next week they are at Tennessee. Then they have the Colts at home. They have the Jets at home. They go to Denver. That one's going to be tough. But then you go to Indianapolis, and then you close the season against Tennessee. Those are 2 completely different schedules, and the Jags are only 1 game back right now in the South.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Ryan, I don't have a whole lot more time. I do want to touch on the Pats game real quick, and then I kind of got an overarching thing. I'll give my thoughts. It was a really ugly game. It was really ugly first quarter, first half for New England. It was a really bad pick 6 by Drake May. Yeah, might have shed a couple of tears watching in the living room. My glorious king throwing an interception like that. No, I mean, they came out. It felt like they were a little sluggish on defense. It definitely felt like they were missing Milton Williams' presence on the interior. He'll be missing the next couple of games.
Yeah, I mean, Chase Brown had the best running back day against them of the year.
Yeah, he had a great game, and I mean, Joe Flacco was making some throws. He was missing some throws too, but he was making some throws. It felt like it was tough to get off the field on third down for a while, but then they started to lock in, and Drake May just started to target the tight ends. Hunter Henry had, I think they said, only like his 4th career 100-yard receiving game. He went over 100. He got in the end zone. I am a little annoyed that Drake May wasn't able to stat pad against the league's worst defense today. Chose today to have his off day. So the MVP slowly slipping away. Stafford's pulling away there. He's having an amazing year, but they got it figured out. It felt like the offense got rolling. The running game was fine enough today. It wasn't the type of performance that will beat a good team. They can't play like this against Buffalo. Maybe they can play like this against Baltimore the way that they look. I can't figure the Ravens out. But I mean, Vrabel said it in the locker room after the game. Like, it's gonna be ugly sometimes, and you like after those, you got to stick closer together. The coaching staff's got to go in. They got to figure some things out. You got an extra day now playing a Monday Night Football next week against another poor team at home in the Giants. So hopefully, you get the win. And you're sitting 11-2 going into the bye before you take on Buffalo and Baltimore. That's kind of the path it seems right now. But the more concerning thing that the Patriots are hoping for good news on is three starting offensive linemen all go down today. Jared Wilson with an ankle, Morgan Moses with illness. He should be fine. But the big one is Will Campbell with his knee injury. All the reports I've seen say that it shouldn't be season ending, but it could be a like bruised MCL or sprained MCL, and it'd be like a 3-week, 4-week injury, and he would come back towards the end of the regular season. I definitely wouldn't push it. I would just lean more, quick game and let May get the ball to those tight ends and probably lose a little bit vertically. But with your schedule, you can afford it a little bit more than I feel like other teams could. Overall, I'd say the Patriots played a C- game today and were able to get the win, so can't complain there. I'll let you guys give your thoughts in just a moment. What I wanna ask is who who's winning the AFC? I legitimately have no clue because you go from top to bottom here. The Broncos got a great defense. Their offense is bottom half in pretty much every important metric. You got the Patriots. They've got Drake May. They've got a really good run defense, pass defense, a little bit sketchy, red zone defense, really bad. Offensive line, not great and now down a few guys. They can't run the ball super great. Colts, Daniel Jones, need I say any more? Chiefs, they've had a bunch of struggles. They looked better today in the second half, but they don't look like a Super Bowl team right now. Buffalo, I kind of last week I sort of felt like Buffalo was maybe the one, like maybe this is the year, like with this group of muck in the AFC, maybe they make it out, and maybe they still do. But after I have that thought, they come out and lay that egg on Thursday Night Football and lose to Davis Mills for their second loss in 3 games, and then you've got Baltimore. They've won 5 in a row, but what win seems impressive in those 5? Like the Lamar looks still limited by the injury. It doesn't feel like he can take off anymore. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of cohesion on that Ravens offense, but their defense has started to play a lot better. So I really don't know if you put a gun to my head right now and said who's winning the AFC. I don't think I could give you a confident answer for any team.
It's a flaw. I made that video. It's a flawed
Yeah.
conference right now. That every team has some sort of stigma with them that they're not perfect, and that's why I think that like the NFC, I like the Rams. I think the Rams have a really good shot of
They're
making
they're
it
the
out.
clear
Right?
cut favorite
Like
overall right now, I think.
yeah, like I can see that the Rams are the clear cut favorite in the AFC. You can have a reason why so many different teams are the favorite over another, and it's going to come down to the matchups, right? So you look at Indianapolis. Let's say they get paired up with a Buffalo. I think Indianapolis should be favored in that game. They're going to run all over Buffalo. But if Buffalo gets paired up with like
Like
I don't know,
Baltimore, like
like a Baltimore, right? That one's going to be a tight game. You don't know, right? If Buffalo gets paired up with their division rival, like the Patriots, like that's going to be a toss up game. Like it is going to be just all of this like crazy nonsense that we're going to see until we actually know the matchups. We know where teams are going to be playing. We know which teams play better at home. Don't even answer the Chiefs versus Eagles
no,
rematch.
Meso, I would
They
bet
are
you any
so
amount of
close.
money at least one of those teams doesn't make it, and I'd be kind of inclined to bet money that
Hey,
neither of them
so
makes it.
Yeah, it'll be if the Chiefs and the Eagles make it, it'll set just every NFL fan's like mindset back like
Listen,
20 years with how bad they played this year. Oh
I
man,
I want you guys to go round table here. Ryan, who would you say right this second if you had to pick?
if I had to pick one team to come out of the AFC this season, they have to be in the playoff picture.
Yeah, they no, actually no.
I'm gonna stick with my guns. I'm gonna ride with my boys. I'm I'm gonna say the Kansas
I
City
don't
Chiefs.
think he's ever picked the Chiefs to lose anything ever.
boo this man.
No,
Boo
why
this
would I?
man.
Why would I? Like what?
This year, there's a lot of
Brady.
reasons.
Until the fat lady sings, they
But
haven't lost
listen
the
though, but
AFC in
listen,
3
I
years.
can't, I can't, I can't hate on you though. I'm gonna be lame. I'm going with the house money. I'm going with my bias. I'm going with it's wide open, so why not us? That's how I feel, and
That's what I'm
I'm with
saying.
you.
I mean,
And we're not established like you guys, but
Yeah.
you can make a case for both teams, and I don't think there's one team you can make a stronger case for than anybody else in the conference. So I'm riding with us. I'm riding with Drake May, like Stephon Diggs said. Dan, what about you?
Well, I was gonna say I'll pick the team that beat your team, and we're not eliminated yet, but we're 2-9. The Raiders.
Hey, let's do it. The
Just to troll
Raiders,
you guys.
worst to first. Let's do it. I'm down with Gino
hey,
redemption arc in the second half.
Just messed up. Just messing. Hey, the Patriots gotta stay healthy
Chip
though, man.
Kelly's gone now
They
though.
do. So what? Oh, I know. I saw that.
Yeah.
It's great
Chip,
news for Raiders fans. I mean, it's a lost season, but
Ah,
maybe, hopefully, this is the last time that we have an NFL team take a chance on Chip Kelly and think that he can work in the NFL.
Yeah, no, Chip Kelly's NFL leash is definitely gone for sure. I'll say this though before you go, Brady.
Wait, were the Chiefs worse last year though? Like in terms
Yes,
of talent,
yes.
they were worse. They were so much better last year in late game situations. They were so much better at situational football.
Yeah, but like the thing is they're just
That's what
more
matters. Like,
the thing is basically every guy in situational football that you need to be there is still there. Right? Like they have the coaches, they're the exact same. They have the quarterback is the exact same. They have
the quarterbacks kind of stunk in situational football this year. Like,
he's 1-0 in his last
but
one.
he is
He's
proven
1-0 in his
in
last
over
one.
history. He's proven this year he's been pretty brutal in these spots.
Hey, look, did the job today. Did the job today. Well, I'll say this, Brady, before you go on the Patriots. Will Campbell's injury is something that
yeah, they gotta stay healthy too.
that is a major thing that could implicate how far New England goes this postseason. If
I
they're
agree,
going to be
and if it
missing
turns out he is out for the
Lyman,
year, I would
yeah,
be very worried.
Yeah.
But
I would be very worried because like as good as Drake May has looked this year, you're missing your starting left tackle and you're missing any lineman. This Patriots offense does not have the talent of some of these other AFC teams around Drake May to where May can, elevate his play. I think Josh McDaniels would do a really good job of trying to make it easier for Drake May, but it also makes this offense easier to stop. And one of the things the Patriots do so well is they have 2 to 3 plays a game that are open down the field. They're one-on-one shots, and they are hitting those at an elite level because Drake May is a very good deep ball thrower. That option basically comes out of the game plan because if they can't hold up for more than 3 seconds, those plays are going to be a lot harder to come by. And I don't see this team being able to separate as well depending on the matchup in the playoffs if their offensive line does not hold up like it has this season.
the one
So
thing that I'll
that's my
say
concern with it.
the one thing I'll say is Campbell's been good. Campbell's certainly been an upgrade. He hasn't been great yet. I've liked what I've seen. He hasn't been great yet, but what has helped him that I think could still help them in his absence. Again, if it's for the year, that's different. But in his absence is McDaniels for all of his flaws, and I was very pissed off with McDaniels all day today. But McDaniels for his flaws is very good at helping these isolated blockers. He's very good at helping the left tackle with tight ends, with running back chip help, with rolling out away from it. Like he's done a lot to help Will Campbell. And if it's Verdarian Lowe, who let's pray that's not for too long. If it's Verdarian Lowe, I think McDaniels will help him out some. But I agree, it definitely is not. It's not good if Will Campbell's out for an extended period of time. So hoping for good news there. But I'm rolling. I'm rolling with the Pats right now. I don't care. You rolling with your guys. I'm rolling with my guys, and we might end up both being wrong. So
Yeah. Brady, you got to stay for one more segment, please.
oh god, what is it?
The NFC North. Maybe the best race in football right now.
Okay,
Right?
let's make it a quick hitter. Let's go 3 minutes right here.
Okay, 3-minute NFC North talk. The Bears are leading the division right now. The Lions almost lost to the Giants today. Jahmyr Gibbs had a monster game winning that one. And then the Packers seem like the most inconsistent team in football. Brady, we'll start with you. Give us one team and why they will win the division, and which of these 3 teams are probably the most overrated of the group.
My real answer is whoever wins on Thursday is winning the division. If Green Bay beats Detroit for the second time, they're gonna take that upper hand. I think that they'll either be second solely or they might jump to first depending on what happens in the Chicago game. But Chicago is the fraudulent one to me. I think what Ben Johnson has done in year one is really, really good, and it's a lot to build off of. But they're squeaking out games against mediocre teams every week. And yes, the Steelers are a mediocre team. Like they, especially without Rodgers, who hasn't even been all that great himself, they're a mediocre team. Chicago you might get a 7 seed. You're not doing much. It's between Detroit and Green Bay, and I don't even love either of these teams. I was really high on Green Bay early in the year, not as much now, especially with Tucker Kraft's injury and some of the other stuff that they've dealt with. I still think they're the best team, though. I still think that Matt LaFleur is the difference maker. He hasn't been had his best season coaching. I think he's a better coach than Dan Campbell. I think that the Lions offense they played really well down the stretch against the Giants today, but without Ben Johnson, there's just been a noticeable difference. They've been held to sub 20, I think, 4 times already this season, and or 20 or less 4 times this season. They just haven't looked great on the offensive end, and it's all been against good teams and good defenses. Kansas City played really poorly. Philadelphia played really poorly. In Lambeau against Green Bay played really poorly. Could continue on Thursday. I'm riding with the Packers in that game. I think the Packers are going to end up winning the North. I think the Bears are the overrated team. Lions fall somewhere in the middle. None of these teams will be playing on championship weekend.
Dan, what about you?
Ooh. I gotta pull up my power rankings here. Man, I love Green Bay coming into the year. But I just think they're dealing with too many injuries, man. And then the Lions keep switching play callers. I think the Lions are overall the better team, but I think the Packers match up really well with Detroit. They know how to beat them. You saw what they did to them week one, and they're one of those teams that they can jump on Detroit with like a 2 touchdown lead, and then with that pass rush, they get after it. And then Jared Goff hates when you pass rush him. Look at today, man. The Giants got after him with Burns and Abdul Carter and Dexter Lawrence, and that's the thing with the Lions. That's how everyone has the blueprint now on how to beat them. It's just they're talented and it's hard to get a lead on that team, especially at home in Detroit. So man, if I had to pick one, I guess I go to Lions, but I don't really feel confident in it.
Yeah, I listen. It's tough because both those teams have really hard schedules to close the year. I mean, Packers go Lions, Bears, Broncos, Bears, Ravens, Vikings, and then the Lions, on the other hand, they're going to go Packers, Cowboys, Rams, Steelers, Vikings, Bears, right? So I think, like you guys mentioned, both those two teams are the real contenders. Chicago's been a fun story this year. They're winning every one-score game right now. Their defense has a ton of injuries. They just lost Tremaine Edmonds to IR. They're actually down their 3 starting linebackers. They're down Jalen Johnson at cornerback, right? Caleb Williams, while he's been better this season, there's still some flaws in his game right now. And you saw that a massive big swing play with TJ Watt stripping the ball in the end zone. Caleb not just throwing the ball away. And
I think he's even worse than Drake when it comes to letting a play die. That's like one of Drake's biggest weaknesses, and he's worse than.
Yeah. Never will let a play die. But like with Chicago, like you mentioned, Brady, their schedule has been really soft in this middle portion of the season when they've gone on this winning streak, and they get Philadelphia on Black Friday. I feel like that's going to be a good test as to what we're going to get from Chicago to close the season, because they get the Lions again, they get the Packers twice. Those 3 games right there are ultimately going to determine if this team makes the playoffs, and I think they probably do make the playoffs. But I mean, the Eagles on Friday night coming off a loss, if their defense somewhat slows down that offense and Ben Johnson has enough tricks up his sleeve to score a few points, who knows? Bears could be frisky, but I'm going to go with the Lions. I just think with the Packers right now and their inconsistencies on offense, it just frustrates me. This team plays down to every other team's level. Their schedule to close the season's a little bit tougher. Detroit, while they have their lumps, I just can't ignore the talent on this team. Like Jahmyr Gibbs literally wins games single-handedly. And no, I don't think Jared Goff is the best quarterback in football. But I mean, this is a guy that's won a ton of games over the last 3 seasons. He's played somewhat like an MVP level caliber quarterback over that stretch as well. And then their defense still has a really, solid core of guys led by Aiden Hutchinson, who's one of the better players in football. So with Detroit, the talent's there. It just feels like they're in a little bit of a weird slump, I guess you can call it, with them. I think they'll be better to close the season. But with Green Bay, their offense isn't getting healthier. Tucker Kraft is not coming back. There's not a magic wide receiver who's going to suddenly change this passing game. Josh Jacobs is banged up right now. I'm not sure what I'm going to get from the Packers offense. And while I think their defense is good, they have limitations at cornerback. They don't stop the run consistently. So I'm going to go Detroit in that division. And ultimately, the Vikings, their bottom feeders at 9. The alter ego's got to go, dude. The alter ego for 9. I mean, is it? I mean, I know, like Dan, you're gonna call me crazy because I'm already going to say this, but is it time to consider Carson Wentz at quarterback? Let JJ sit even
I thought
more.
Carson was out for the year.
Oh shoot, I forgot about Carson
It's
Wentz.
Brosmer.
But like, what are we gonna do with JJ McCarthy? Because this is bad. I mean,
They call him 9 because that's how many shots you have to take as a Vikings fan to be able to withstand watching him play.
I mean, you got to do one for every throw, and you'll be on the ground. You won't be able to see. Man, I don't. What are your guys' thoughts on McCarthy? And then I'll let you go, Brady.
Terrible. Worst starting quarterback in the NFL.
So what do they do long term though?
Get him out of there. Get him you got to cut your losses.
Next year you're cutting ties.
You got to cut your loss. Like, I would let him stick around maybe as a backup, but maybe like just hang on to the young assets like potential. But you've got a core that can win a lot of games, as you saw with Sam Darnold last year. You cannot like bank it on this young project that probably was already a reach at where he got picked. Didn't get a ton of volume in college. Michigan actively was trying to not let this guy throw the football when they won the national championship. He was getting like 15 throws a game tops, coming off of a major injury last year, was injured this year, which I kind of believe in that soft benching that people claim that it was. Like, he's just not good. Like, Cam Ward, who I actually think has a lot of potential, is the second worst EPA per play quarterback among qualified guys in the NFL. And then there's like Cam Ward, JJ McCarthy far down the line is like by far the worst EPA per play quarterback in the NFL right now. Nothing's easy. Justin Jefferson's losing patience. I think Jordan Addison had like 1 target today. He's just not it.
Yeah, Dan, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's not playing well right now, and the offense looks bad. I just the Vikings were one of those teams that how many one-score games did they win last year? Like, I know the record was whatever it was. They won 13 or 14 games, but still, it wasn't. If you remember, all those were one-score games. It wasn't like they were blowing people out, dominating people on either side of the ball. So you got to treat him like a rookie, man. And this is you selected him in the first round. You got to deal with it. You got to play him. You can't bench him because you're using a lot of assets on him. You got to see what you got. The one thing I am scared of is his injury history. Like, he got hit today and like he kind of like froze on the ground, and then Hawkinson picked him up. And I was like, man, is he like knocked out? I was like, holy cow. So it's like that scares me. Like, we don't need him to be another Anthony Richardson, that like another guy that needs to play and he's never available. So you're not going to get any better if you're on the bench or you're hurt. So as long as he's healthy, you got to go through this as a Vikings fan, man. Growing pains. It's a young quarterback. How many interceptions did Peyton Manning have his rookie year? What, 20 something?
You know it's cooked when the Peyton Manning rookie comps come out.
Yeah, well, this.
No, I'm not hating on you, Dan. It's just I've always seen that people say that like when their rookie quarterbacks are playing bad, they're like, "Well, Peyton sucked." It's like it's true,
Yeah,
but
I know. But imagine like Peyton playing. Imagine if there was
dude,
Twitter back
Peyton
then in
rookie
'99.
Peyton playing in the social media era would get
Oh, they would have cooked him.
crucified.
It would have cooked him, dude.
It would have been
Listen, I don't think it's going to get much worse for JJ McCarthy after next week when he plays Seattle in Seattle. That's going to be a rough point for him.
Start Seattle's defense.
Yeah, that's another thing. They're playing a first place schedule.
Yeah,
to Sam Darnold.
Yeah, it's not looking good for.
That was his farewell gift.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. But Brady, appreciate having you on.
Yes,
we will catch you next week.
Hey, hang on, real quick, Brady. Who you got? Georgia Tech or Georgia? Real quick.
I gotta go with the Dogs, unfortunately.
Georgia Tech fell off.
Yeah, it's not looking good right now. But I'll catch you boys next week.
All right, see ya.
See ya.
All right, Dan. Shedeur Sanders. Big time win. First Browns rookie in 30 years to get that W. What are your thoughts on Shedeur?
Come on, man. I knew that. Dude, I gave you the script. I gave you the script on Thursday or Friday, man. Come on, man. It's the Raiders, dude. It's the Raiders. Yeah, dude. Shedeur got a win. I think it's more of the Browns defense carried them. Dude, the Raiders can't block, man. Can't block. 10 sacks. 10 sacks. You see Myles Garrett out there putting dudes on skates? Dude, if there was like one thing I would want to do, like if I could dunk, if I could like hit a home run, like I would probably want to do what Myles Garrett's able to do, like push a grown ass man like that. Like Stone Forsythe's 6'8", 330, and he's pushed him like he's a little kid. And like, dude, it's amazing, man.
He's so good at football.
Dude is a superhero. We literally have a superhero right in front of us. It's Myles Garrett. He's a Greek god, man, and he's awesome. And that defense is legit. And if the Browns can finally give him a lead, like he's gonna shatter that sack record. What, at 22 and a half? He's
Yeah.
already at 17. We got what, 6 games left. So yeah, he already put him in pen for defensive player of the year, man. He's got that locked up.
Yeah,
Browns defense is legit.
he easily locked up that award. I think Shadur played okay today. Like
Yeah, he had a good throw. Sorry,
he had, he
good
had one
50-yard.
really nice play. He had one really nice play.
Yeah.
Definitely a good clip for social media to post.
Oh, they loved it.
And they made, Kevin Stefanski made it as easy as possible for Shadur to have success in this
Yeah.
game. It was the most cookie cutter quarterback game plan of all time. A lot of dump downs, not much where it was getting the ball in his hands. They took him off a lot, ran a lot of wildcat.
Yeah, they
Right?
do Wildcat. I was like,
Yeah, they made it very easy for Shadur to
2008.
have a successful day. I'm not
Yeah.
sure, I don't think Shadur is going to have that great of a season to close it, but definitely him getting this experience and learning how to get the ball out of his hands, not, look down at pressure and do that type of stuff that he really struggled with in the preseason and even last week is going to be a big step in his development. I know every time you hear the name Shadur Sanders, it's going to have a ton of headlines around it, but he's definitely like a type of quarterback, unlike JJ McCarthy, that I think he just needs snaps. Like his issues aren't necessarily like ball placement, right? His issues are getting the ball out on time and seeing defenses, right? And that's a massive problem for a quarterback to have. But I mean, he's just not missing receivers that are open right now. And that at least gives him a fighting chance. If Shadur Sanders can develop, right, this team adds a little bit more playmakers. Who knows? Maybe he's the guy in Cleveland. And if he wins maybe 2 or 3 more games, they might give him a shot as a starter next year. You think that's out of the question?
No, it's not out of the question. I mean, they drafted 2 quarterbacks for a reason. They see something in this guy. Looking at their schedule, I mean, the Titans are kind of underrated on defense. Like they play the four, so I'm like thinking like if they played a team like Seattle next, which they don't, but if they played a team that's really good in pressures, I would think he's kind of screwed. But you
Oh,
look
yeah.
at it, you look at it next week, it's kind of an easy matchup. You get the 49ers on a short week. The 49ers can't rush the passer this year. They're one of the lowest in the league in
Well,
sacks.
and then they get
Uh,
the Bears in a few weeks too, who don't rush the passer very
exactly.
well.
So exactly. So it's kind of a good couple games here for him
It's a
that
little good audition
he's
script
coming.
for the old boy Shadur.
Yeah, so we're gonna see what he's got. Because I'm trying to say with 49ers, they let Jacoby Brissett last week throw 57 times. They didn't sack him once. So you got to
Oh,
think. Don't let Shadur get comfortable. Maybe he'll have a nice game. So
yeah.
we're gonna see what he's got. I like Judkins still. Hopefully he's healthy. But yeah, with that defense, man, they can win. They can be in any game. The whole season. The story has been the offense, man. The offense struggling. They can't put up points. So let's see if they can continue to ride this wave here.
100%. Do you have any other headlines from week 12 that you want to discuss?
Falcons defense. I like their defense. You talked about the Colts, Seattle. No, I'm good, man. What you got?
No, I mean, that was it. I mean, I think we covered
Oh,
everything. It was a crazy week. I think Monday
it
Night
was fun,
Football
dude.
is gonna be a very good matchup, I think. Carolina could be knocking on the door of the division, right? Tampa Bay's been in a slump as of late. This would be a massive win for Carolina to move closer to potentially winning that division. If you guys made it to the end of this video, drop a comment down below about all your hottest takes from week 12. Hit that subscribe button for more Blitz Sports Media content. And me and Dan will catch you guys next time.